something we're gonna, we run into all the time as DJs, and it's such a difficult situation. It's so tough. Is like basically like indoor outdoor weddings, right? And not like ceremonies. I mean, my little graphic here is like ceremonies, but in general, when you have a wedding that is half indoor, half outdoor. For example, you got a ballroom, the whole ballroom's indoors, right? Or whatever, the space where the receptions happens indoors. But right outside of the ballroom, there's a balcony. And you can, and there's views and there's stuff outside. Or maybe it's not a balcony. Maybe you're on the ground level and right outside there's big doors and windows in your ballroom, and you can go right outside, and the couple might have lawn games, right? They might have like, cornhole and, huge Jenga and shit like that, right? And they'll have lawn games, or just, in general, when you have weddings, especially when it's nice out, okay? And the couples have the option to go outside, and there's literally shit for them to do outside too, which is even extra, and it's a nice day. How do you handle that? Because they can get tough, okay? If you've never been in this situation, I'll explain it. Like, if it's a beautiful day out, people are going to go outside. They're going to go hang outside. Especially if they're not really dancers or whatever, or they're not trying to dance, especially or early on, then that's their excuse too. They just go outside. They go kick it outside. Smokers go outside too. There's not a lot of anymore generally, but you're kind of combating, If you happen to have a wedding with only 100 people and it's a pretty big space, plus the outdoors, people spread out, you'll catch yourself sometimes with only 10 people inside with you. And what do you do? How do you combat this? It is so hard. And I'll be the first one to tell you, like, I don't have any surefire solutions. I'll tell you exactly how I handle it, but it's still a struggle. It's just a struggle. It is what it is. There's not a lot you can do. People are going to spread out. People are going to want to hang out outside. People are going to want to go check out the Jenga, go mess around with the cornhole and challenge their buddies and all that. People are going to want to, use all the stuff that's around them. So it's always going to be a struggle, but just here's some tips on how to handle it, okay? I always spread my sound. I think that's the number one thing to consider, okay? Spread your sound out. You don't want to battle. You don't want to you don't want to battle and try and keep guests inside. Instead, just expect them to spread out and have your sound spread out so they can never disconnect. They always, to me, it's very important for all the guests to constantly hear what I'm playing, right? I don't want them to disconnect from the mix, even if it's subconsciously, even if they're talking to somebody next to them. I want them to still kind of hear the song in the background and then hear when I go to a next song, right? So they don't get disconnected. If someone walks outside and there's no music out there and then they come back in, you're starting from ground one, right? Whatever you built, if you had them jamming or whatever and they leave and they come back, it's whatever song you're playing, you lost them, you know what I mean? Now it's step one again as far as getting them the vibe. So if they can always be around music, maybe not loud, but in general, then you're going to keep them. You're going to be able to keep them vibing at the very least. So I try and spread out my sound. I do this by setup in general, spread out my speakers so it's even around the ballroom. And then I do remote speakers. So if you have little Bose sticks or little Evox or little Evolves or something you can use, stick them outside strategically. There's wireless systems you can use, or run a XLR, run a wire, but put speakers outside if you can, that is. I mean, some venues literally won't let you. You can't have anything outside. And it's all right, perfect. Now I'm extra screwed. But if you can, if they allow you, I don't ask first either. I always ask forgiveness, not permission. I just put it out there and keep it low and whatever. And if they yell at me, I'll just turn it off. It's one extra thing to break down. Don't even ask them, because a lot of times if you ask the venue, they're just gonna be, no, you can't do that. That's bad. You know what I mean? Sometimes they won't even notice. You'll have it chill, but because you don't have to have it loud, just enough so you keep people vibing. And if your music is really everywhere, you have the best chance of at least just creating a great vibe. If there's not a lot of people and they're just spread out thin, and you don't have a packed dance floor all night, at the very least, everybody was vibing, having a great time. I think of it this way: the couple booked the venue because of the amenities of the venue. So they definitely considered that, wow, this venue has a great outside section, it has a great balcony with views. It has great sections, especially if the couple go out of their way to have custom cornhole things made and games and all that. They want people to enjoy everything and be outside. So I'm not going to combat that. That's what the couple wants. So I'm just trying to provide music for all of it. If you go to a fancy club, one of the high-end clubs, or, and you go to the bathroom, you still hear the DJ in the bathroom, because they have the house system going throughout, because they don't want you to disconnect from the music. They want you just to be vibing, having a great time. And it's the same kind of concept. You just spread your speakers out, so you have, just avoid the disconnection, okay? You don't want to disconnect. You want the guest to hear everything, every possible moment if you can. And then another thing to think about, another thing I calculate into my formula with this is the bar location, okay? Definitely be conscious of where the bar is located. And that's in general, I always consider that when I'm setting up, because the bar is very, very important to what we do. People who drink, the people who are going to hit the bar multiple times throughout the night are the people that most likely will dance, okay? Whether they dance when they're drunk or in general, people that dance, drinking goes with dancing. The people that don't drink, the people that never go to the bar all night, they're probably not going to dance, So I want the bar, if you go to the bar and get a drink, I want you to still be able to vibe to my music. So I always, always, always try and set up in a way where you can hear the music where the bar's at. Because sometimes the bar's outside the room, sometimes the bar's somewhere weird or whatever, you know what I mean? If I can make it happen, I try and make it where you can still hear the music when you're getting a drink. Now, keep in mind, don't blast it so the bartender can't hear the orders and stuff. I mean, obviously, but I just don't want them to disconnect. I think it's super, super important. And, it plays hand in hand. One of the biggest things, if you look at venue versus DJ, one of the biggest differences venues will have versus what we want is the drinking. Venues generally don't want the guests to drink as much. It's just a fact. All venues. Think about it. Almost every wedding's open bar. The more they drink, the less money the venue makes. And the more they drink, the drunker they get, the liability goes up. Okay, you might have a drunk guest, that could sue one day, or shit, the whole liability thing happens. When you have drunk people, it's definitely stressful for the venue. A lot of shit can go wrong when people are too drunk, and then now they're negligent because they got the guests too drunk, right? Because have all the laws work and stuff now. So I get their perspective. And you got to realize back your head, every venue, when it comes down to it, they don't want people to get wasted. Okay. They want to, so that's why you'll see a lot of places where the bar is outside the ballroom. They try and make it harder for the guests to get drunk, or they'll close the bar down. They'll offer we'll close the bar down during dinner or intros. We'll close the bar down 30 minutes early, yada, yada, yada. Right. That's all by design. Okay. And I get their perspective, but our perspective is, at least my perspective is, I want people to get wasted. I want people to black out. I want clothes to come off. I want twerking. I want them to make mistakes. I want throw up on the dance floor. I want the most crazy party ever. I want the wedding guests to wake up the next day holy shit, that was crazy. You know what I mean? So it's a constant battle between the DJ and the venue with this type of thing, and that's why, so the best way we can handle this and deal with this is by just making sure when they get drinks, they can hear the music. So if the bar's outside the room, I try and put a speaker near there if I can make it work. If not, it is what it is. But I try to do that. That way people are constantly vibing. And then, when you're in this situation, as long as you have the music spread out evenly everywhere, your volumes are good, you're not blasting nobody out, everything, but it's just even. There's not much you can do other than just put your head down and just mix great music, create a great vibe, play all those requests that the couple wanted, and just mix. And you'll be surprised what happens. People can hear music everywhere. They're going to drink. They're going to have a good time. They're going to vibe. Maybe you won't have a packed dance floor on the inside, but you'll have people dancing over here, people dancing over there, people dancing over there. And generally, it was a great time all spread out. And even though it doesn't really feed our egos because we didn't have a packed dance floor in front of us, it's exactly what the couple wanted. The couple wanted everyone to spread out and have a great time and really, use all the resources, use all the amenities that their venue had to offer, and really just generally just have a great time, enjoy the great day, all that. That's what the couple wanted. So don't get tied up in your own kind of ego where, it wasn't a packed dance floor, it sucked. That doesn't mean it sucked, but it does suck if your music is only in the ballroom and everyone's hanging out outside and no one can even hear what you're playing. Now you're playing to your damn self. Now it's just you and the bartenders. You know what I mean? That does suck. So spread this shit out. Invest in wireless technology or invest in big 50-foot XLRs and spread your shit out. Trust me, DJs, okay? And, even if you don't have a packed dance floor, it's still the best case scenario. Everyone vibes. You can control the party. People can hear your announcements too. Because what if you need everybody to come in for the last song, or you need everybody to come in for a formality or something? How are you going to get everybody to come in? You're going to go out there and yell? No, you have your remote speaker. They'll be able to hear you through speaker. There's a lot of, so consider all that. Trust me, DJs. But regardless, as long as you do that, you're good. And just expect that it's not going to be crazy. It works like if there's like 250, 300 people and they all spread out, then that's one thing. It all works. But, if it's only 100, 150 people and it's a big place, it's tough. It's tough. There's no, so that's all you can do. So, because I'm sure we're all going to have a lot of weddings like that. I already had 2 that were like that, and that's just how I handle it. So if you have any other tips, though, definitely leave it in the comments and stuff.